Hold on, I got to take this. Yeah. Okay. We are so busy as a society anymore that we really wear it as a badge of honor. This is a sad thing. We wear busyness as a badge of honor. From the corporate world where it's meeting after meeting after meeting. If your calendar's not full of meetings, that means you aren't busy, that you aren't somehow productive. And then from the business owner standpoint, if you aren't constantly fighting fires, if you're not constantly trying to figure out the next thing and you're basically, you got water up to your nose, you aren't doing enough. And what's sad is that the most productive people, the people that get the most done and have what I would consider to be the most success in life, don't have that on a daily basis. Now, yes, you are going to have times where you are slammed with back to back to back meetings. You're going to be slammed with putting out fires and you can't think about the future and focus on the future and have that vision for where you're trying to go, whether it be your business, your family, your finances, whatever it may be. There are those times. But if that is constantly you, to me, that is your ego getting in the way. That is you saying, I need to look busy. I need to be perceived as being so busy I can't do anything else. I can't take on anymore. When in fact, you can. There is a lot that goes on in my life. And for those of you that actually know, you already know this already. But if you don't, I'm a project manager at BMW. I have 2 businesses that I run, the speaking coaching as well as a virtual assistant agency. I've got 5 people, or about to have 5 people that work with me currently, and I have 7 clients with that. I've got my family, my wife. We've been married for 5 years. I've got a 3-year-old girl and an 8-month-old girl. Not to mention, I get involved with my church and all the other little hobbies and activities that I like to do, such as this podcast. This is something that's fun for me, but I have to take time to do 2 episodes a week, scheduling that with people. And now I have some people in place to help me with some of these things, but it is still a lot of stuff that I do. And I don't say that to say, look at Philip, he's so busy, he does so many things, he's so great because all these things he does. I say it because I have found ways to be able to cope with all those things. I say it because I have done things, and this is not going to be a podcast to tell you that you need to start delegating tasks, because you do if you're doing them all. But I say it because of the fact that I've started to delegate things. I've actually been able to take on more, in a sense that I am now spreading myself out to do multiple things and be really the CEO and visionary of a lot of it. While I still do certain things, I'm able to let other people do their part in that. So you need to stop wearing the busyness badge of honor. Stop wearing that busyness badge and start thinking smarter. Start thinking about that future. So how do we actually do that? Because yes, I can say, hey, start thinking about it. Hey, start delegating. Hey, do this. But how do you do that in the first place? You're going to have to set time aside. And this is exactly what I did to help me start getting started with that in the first place. Whether it be automating something, whether it be delegating something, finding a better system or a better process for your day to do that, you have to start thinking through that whole process. So take 15 minutes to 30 minutes. You can find that time. Don't tell me you can't. You can find some time, whether it be at the beginning of the day, the end of the day. I suggest more at the beginning of the day, but even at the end of the day, taking the time. And I'd probably even do both, but at a minimum, once during that day. Taking the time. Okay, what are the things that I need to get done today? What am I working on? And then going through that, or even taking one process. So I'll use my podcast as an example here. Okay, I've got a podcast. What are the things that I'm doing with it? Well, I'm doing 2 pieces of content a week. I have 1 guest episode and 1 solo episode. Okay, I could probably knock out, I can do that every week. I can find a guest, I can record with them, I can do the editing, I can post it, I can go on and record my solo episode, and I can post it, and I could do those, let's say Monday, I do the guest, I post it on Wednesday, Thursday I record the solo episode, Friday I post it. But guess what? I could actually probably streamline that. What if I did the guest episode recording and the solo episode recording on Monday, And then Wednesday and Thursday, I posted. So I had it already scheduled ahead because luckily the softwares and the websites that I use allow you to schedule in advance. So then on Monday, I could probably do all that. And guess what? I've got the rest of the week to do other things that I want to do. So that alone, I just started to systematize that one thing. But then I decided, you know what? I want to make this video editing better. I want to not have to deal with all that. I want to just hit record and be done with it. So I hired a virtual assistant to help me with my video editing. And guess what? On top of that, I told the virtual assistant, hey, I don't want to touch it. I mean, essentially what I did, I didn't really tell him this, but I said, you know what? Once you get done editing it, you already have it, upload it to YouTube, upload it to Buzzsprout, which is my hosting platform for the podcast. And so all I do is literally record. I then upload to Google Drive. He's able to download it, do the edits. We'll do some checks in there just to make sure if everything looks good. And then he'll upload those to YouTube and Buzzsprout for me. So then I'm basically done. I was able to then just do the recordings and then have somebody else take care of the rest of it. For me, it was more streamlined. Maybe it wasn't quite as streamlined for my assistant at the time, for my video editor to be able to handle that side. But even then, and we worked through that as well. So he was kind of just doing the guest episode. He would edit it. He would upload it, all this stuff. And then he'd go back and do the solo episode. And then he started actually editing both the guest and solo episode and going on. And then what I did on my side as well is, you know what? I'm going to knock out several solo episodes because I can control my time when I do that. And now, even today, actually, this is the third solo episode that I've recorded today. And so I was able to do that. And so you can find ways to streamline your process. But it took me thinking through this big picture. Okay, I need to do 2 episodes a week, but I also don't have a lot of time. So when can I start doing those? How can I batch the content, essentially, of creating these solo episodes, of doing these guest episodes? And even then, when I was doing the guest episodes too, I was, any day. You can get me any day, any night, And I started saying, no, Wednesdays and Saturdays. And that helped me be able to focus in on other things because there was a point as well where I needed to get some coaching stuff done and some content creation done, but I had another podcast episode. And it was like every night I was having a podcast episode. So I started finding ways to streamline it, but I had to take this 30,000 foot view. And that all started from a 15-minute dive into what does my day look like? What does this process for this one thing look like? So for you, wearing that badge of honor, if you're wearing the busyness badge right now, take 15 minutes and assess one thing that you do constantly and how can you make that a little bit better? How can you batch that? How can you systematize that process? And then go on to the next thing. If you can get up to 30 minutes, that's awesome. And then if you can do 15 minutes or 30 minutes in the morning and 15 to 30 minutes in the evening and go through, okay, or after you got done with that, do an assessment. Okay, hey, I thought through, like, maybe this would be better. Now that I've done it for a couple of weeks or, that day when you did it, has it gotten better? Did it seem to be better? Did it seem to save me some time? And you continue to refine this over and over again. But that's how you can get rid of that busyness badge of honor. And so I want to be able to help you here today. I don't want to just go on this rant about the busyness badge of honor, but too many of y'all, myself included at one point, wear this busyness badge of honor, this busy badge of honor as something that's worth wearing when it's not at all. We should not be so busy that we can't do anything. So stop trying to wear busyness as a badge of honor and learn to delegate, to systematize, to automate whatever you need to do, these tasks, so you can actually start doing more rather than doing less because now you're staying busy and you're so busy and you're so great. No, you're really not that great. If you're that busy that you can't get away from your phone, you can't get away from the computer, you can't spend time with your family, you can't do any actual work, you're not that great. I hate to break it to you, but you're not that great. So stop wearing that busy badge of honor and start learning to automate, delegate, and systematize the things that you're doing today and watch how much more you're going to get done. And then watch how you become this great person that people want to be just like.